Activity B for the wave dynamics. Get the gizmo ready. Click reset, select transverse, select amplitude at 20, frequency at 1.75 hertz, tension at 3, and density at 1 kilo. So we go back over here. Again, we need to set the amplitude at 20. Make sure you have it at transverse. If you haven't already done so, you may have to reset it. So transverse amplitude at 20, your frequency at 0.75, which is already set, tension at 3, and 1 kilo. So all of those are presets. That should be fine. Then it says, question, what factors affect the wavelength, speed, and power of waves? Record, the speed of the wave is the distance a pulse travels per second. Wave speed is displayed in the below spring. Click play. What is the wave speed? So if you look over here, you'll see at this top, it'll say wave speed, and that's the one that you're looking for. It'll be right, there'll be the time in the middle, wave speed, and then wave power. So you want to write down the wave speed in centimeters per second. Don't forget your unit. Next, it says, so that's question number one. You want the centimeters per second. Experiment. The wavelength and speed of a wave can be influenced by many factors. Adjust the amplitude, frequency, tension, and density as described in the table below. Then run a report whether this causes the wavelength and the speed to increase or decrease. Return each variable to its original value after the experiment. So the first one, you're going to increase the amplitude. So you need to remember the wavelength and the wave speed. You might want to write that above the category. So if you go over here, you want to write down your wave speed and your power so you don't forget those. So you'll hit reset, and the first one, it wants you to change the amplitude. So you'll look here, you'll increase the amplitude. I would go all the way and hit play. Now you can just look right here and make a judgment call, but you can also look at your wave speed and power to make those judgments. Okay, so the first one, if I increase the amplitude, what is the effect of the wavelength? All right, so the wavelength, if you hit pause and show rulers, you could measure it, but I think, see, that's the speed and the power. Does it show you the wavelength? So you could hit reset, hit play, and then you can also look, is the wavelength the same or different? All right, so next one is frequency. So you reset it, turn it back down to 20, increase the frequency. Does that increase the wavelength? Now again, if you forget how to measure wavelength, you can show the ruler and you can measure from the 0 over to the how long it is. All right. So if you don't have that measurement off the start, you can reset and hit play, and you can write down what the original wavelength is by hitting pause and measuring it. Now you want to make sure that you have at least two crests that you can measure off of. So you want to write down that is there no effect on the wave speed and length? Is it increase or decrease? Again, you reset, make sure it's at 23, frequency is at 75. Your tension, we're now doing tension, so you're going to increase the tension. What does that do to your wavelength? Does that increase your wavelength or decrease your wavelength? And does that increase your wave speed or does it decrease your wave speed? Wave speed will be easier, so you can just look right here on your wave speed. And then the last thing you do, you set it all back to the original. So 20, 75, bring this back down to the starting, which is a tension of 3. And the last one you do is you're going to increase the density and then run it. So each one of these you'll have to increase and then bring it back to what it was. The wave speed, you can always look down here, and then for your wavelength, again, you're going to have to pause it, measure out relatively, is that increasing or decreasing from your original measurement. So next one. So you've filled out this, you're saying increase or decrease. It says analyze. Click reset, set the frequency to 0.08 hertz, tension to 2, density to 2. Click play, then pause, show rulers. What is the wavelength? So first thing you do is you need the rulers. They want you to keep the amplitude at 20. They want you to increase the frequency to 0.08. Your tension goes down to 2. And then you're going to put your density at 2, which is all the way up. Just check and make sure it doesn't say anything about amplitude. Amplitude, I'm going to keep at 20. I hit play, and then I'm going to wait for a little bit so I can see. I'll put it right here, and it looks like, if I'm measuring it from the middle, it looks like it's around this area. It's more than 100 and it's less than 160. So you can write down what number that is. And then what's the wave speed? That's easy, just look down here. It gives it to you in between the time and the wave power. So that's questions A and B. How are the wavelength, frequency, and wave speed related? Answer that question. You want to say that wave speed equals or doesn't equal or is somehow related to wavelength. In general, wave speed can be calculated from the frequency f and wavelength from the formula V equals f times, I believe that's delta, that symbol. I could be wrong, but wavelength. What is the wavelength with f is 0.9 and V is 154.9. Now, I believe if you go here, you can pull up tools. No, they don't have a calculator. So what I would do is I would put up a calculator, and what you want to do is you want to plug in your information. So you take the 0.9 in your calculator and you divide it, or sorry, divide 154.9 by 0.9. That should give you a number that is larger than 154.9. To check, set the frequency to 90 hertz, this number right here, and set the tension to 2.4 newtons and the density to 1. So we'll go ahead and go to ours, hit reset, say amplitude is going to stay the same at 20. Take your tension, and that's 2.4. Your frequency, we increase that to 0.09, and density drops down to 1. Hit play, and it should say that your wavelength should be, let's just pause it. If you measure it, it's you can check it so it'll be around this area. It'll be more than 140 and less than 190. So it'll be in this area. All right. So that answers, that's your check. That says change the density to 1.5 grams per meter and click play. Based on your wave speed, do you expect the wavelength to be? and then measure the wavelength to check. So you can guess on this one, is it going to be larger than 3D, or is it going to be less than 3D? So let's go ahead and check it. Go density, let's reset. Density is 1.5, and the tension frequency is 9 still, or 0.9, and your tension is the same. You can play it. Once you're done, you want to pause it. When you see two crests, put your ruler pretty much in the middle of one crest, and you should see that it is more than 120 and that's less than 160, so it'll be in this area for you to do. All right, that is first page of part B.